And ever since 1911, the Phantom of the Opera has been a haunting and compelling character. A man disfigured, stalking a Paris opera house, abducting a young and beautiful soprano. Well, now Michael Crawford wears the Phantom's mask, and he has really cast a spell on Broadway. Yesterday, Joel Siegel spoke with him and asked him about that arduous task of transforming himself each night into the Phantom of the Opera.
We worked for about 3 months on the creation of the makeup and the build-up of the makeup, so that not only did we find the disfigurement here, which is fairly restricting. I mean, it can't be as horrific as Lon Chaney's was, because you can't interfere with the hearing, you can't interfere with the breathing, and you can't put anything inside the mouth because
you wouldn't be able to sing. Yeah.
I mean, you can't sing like that. You can't sing something like Marlon Brando in The Godfather. And if you can't hear, then you're not going to be with the orchestra. They were the simple reasons. So everything has to be concentrated, but they did go to work on my eyes, so that I do wear a white contact lens in here, which is quite painful, and I can't see anything. No, not much. And a blue one in here to make my eyes, which I think are blue, a little darker blue, so there's a great contrast. But I have great fun backstage. I mean, I go around like that, sort of, with my hands outstretched. I know all the dancers now.
By name.
Not by name yet.
I read that you're not a natural tenor, that you're really a baritone, and you had to practice and work to move your voice up to sing in that range.
Yes, I worked about 5 hours a day. I had this same challenge once before, and my very first musical ever was Hello, Dolly, with Barbra Streisand and Walter Matthau and Gene Kelly, who gave me the chance, Gene Kelly. And I went to Los Angeles, and I had a house in Beverly Hills, and I lived next door to Elvis Presley. And I used to practice, put on your Sunday clothes, on my garden wall. And Elvis had a house next door. And I used to go along this wall singing, put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. And 2 days later, I drove down the drive, and he had his house up for sale. And exactly the same thing happened in London. I had 5 hours practice a day for the Phantom, and you make some terrible noises when you're practicing. And I used to lock all the doors in the apartment, but still I could be heard. And they sold 2 flats in a month there. But it did extend my range.
Tell me about the kiss scene at the end of the play. I've heard that you can't feel it and she can't feel it.
Not entirely, no, because I've got, again, a false lower lip and a false upper lip, which is just stops on the inside, towards the inside of the mouth, so that it doesn't interfere with the singing. Of course, if it comes slightly loose, and then you start singing like that. So don't come on one of those nights. Christine, played by Sarah Brightman, she has to kiss me very passionately at the end. And I think, yes, she just gets a sort of squashy rubber feeling.
Are you aware on stage of the way the audience is reacting at the kiss? The way people are crying and sobbing?
I can't at that point, but I can at the end when I absolutely collapse. I can hear the audience then. It's just amazing. And also the silence during Music of the Night, which is very near the beginning, when he first comes on and he starts to walk around the stage with such love. He doesn't touch her. And I hope, and this is what we intended, that it's a fairly sensual scene, but in the most beautiful way, he adores her and is professing his love for her.
Turn your face away from the garish light of day. Turn your thoughts away from cold and feeling light, and listen to the music of the night.
Do you still have a good time?
I have a wonderful time, yes, every time I go out there. Every matinee, every evening, it's a feast to me. It's a feast.
Ooh, it's a feast for those who go to see him. Coming up next.